Does Arch Manning get chomped in the swamp this weekend? Georgia, can they bite back after their loss to Alabama? SEC betting breakdown. Let's hop right into it. Click that like, hit subscribe. RJ Cash, Break the Board Sports, where we give you trends and angles to help you become a better handicapper. Let's hop right into it. Going to start out. We got 4 SEC games to break down rapid fire. First one on the docket is going to be Kentucky at Georgia. Georgia laying 21. You're over under 48.5. 74% of tickets, 78% of the handle on Georgia. So everybody thinking the Bulldogs bounce back after they dropped that touchdown pass, then didn't kick the field goal from the 11, just fumbled all over themselves against Alabama. Only 26% of bets and 22% of the handle to the Kentucky Wildcats. You're over under at 48.5. 82% of tickets to the over, 18% of tickets to the under. 54% of the handle to the under, 46% to the over in this one. Kentucky just 1-4 ATS their last 5 games overall, 3-8 straight up over their last 11. Now, Georgia, we talked about, they're one of the teams that has struggled the most. When you talk about big championship programs, 0-5 against the spread over their last 5 games has just been horrible. ATS team. Obviously, it's a team the public's going to back a lot. Georgia, 15-4 straight up their last 19 games overall. Now, head-to-head, these two teams, the under in Kentucky has been the way to go, believe it or not. 5 of the last 6 meetings have went under the total, and Kentucky is 5-1 against the spread over their last 6 games versus the Georgia Bulldogs. Absolutely incredible. Head-to-head last year, these two teams in Kentucky, Georgia 13-12, a 1-point win for the Georgia Bulldogs. Before that, in Georgia, 51-13, they walked the dog. But when I look back and I look over the last 10 meetings, only twice has Georgia won this game by more than 21 points. And those Georgia teams of the past, much better than this one. Even though Gunnar Stockton and company, like, you can see the flashes of Georgia, they just haven't been able to put it all together yet. But when 8 of the last 10 have stayed within that 21 and Kentucky's getting 21, I think you look for a 21.5 would be the way to play this with Kentucky. Georgia, very emotional game coming off with Alabama. And then next week, Georgia heads to Auburn. Not that Auburn's a powerhouse, but that's always a tough game between these two teams. Again, my lean would be towards the 21.5, but let's give you some trends both ways, see which way you want to bet it. Georgia, again, they've hit that money line 7 of their last 10 games. That puts you up 4.15 units, but only a 90% return on your investment. Right now on the money line, the lowest you can find is 13.50. Can't really do that. Now, Kentucky, they've hit the first quarter money line 6 of their last 10 games. That would put you up 2.25 units. Right now, Kentucky, plus 360 on the money line. First half game total under. Now, the first half over-under for this game is 25.5. Georgia's hit the under for the first half in the game total in 9 of their last 14 games. That would put you up 3.15 units, about a 19% return on your investment. Kentucky, they've been able to hang in there in the first quarter. Right now, Georgia laying 6.5 at FanDuel, minus 112 for the first quarter. Kentucky, 6 of the last 10, they've been able to cover that first quarter spread, put you up 1.75 units. Now, Georgia, they have not did well in the first half. Georgia laying 11.5 in the first half right now. They've hit the first half spread 1 of their last 14 games. If you had been following Georgia to cover the first half, you're down 12.76 units, a negative 79% return on your investment. So if you're not a big fan of Kentucky, 21.5 for the game, maybe 11.5 is the way you look for it again. Again, a couple different angles you could go here. Let's hop into our next game. Texas at Florida, and this is a big one. Does Arch Manning get chomped down in Florida? This is his first SEC contest. Obviously, Arch Manning hasn't played the way people expected him to, as he was that Heisman front runner. Florida, they've been absolutely a mess, losing that game to South Florida. LSU, they hung in there, just couldn't matriculate offense whatsoever. When you look at this game right now at DraftKings betting splits, you got Florida catching 7. 73% of tickets are on Texas. 27% of tickets are on Florida. 69% of the handle on Texas compared to 31% of the handle on Florida. You're over under 41.5, 79% of bets, 60% of the money ticks towards the over on that. I personally played Florida plus 7.5. Couple trends here to help you out in this game. You got Florida at home here against Texas. You'll have Florida, just refreshing here for you. Florida 10-4 ATS their last 14 games, despite not playing well straight up. Straight up, Texas has been a machine. 16-4 straight up their last 20, 11-1 straight up their last 12 on the road. But they've struggled against the spread. Texas not been able to cover numbers, just 1-5 ATS their last 6 games overall. Florida, though, despite not getting the W's, they've been a great covering team. We just talked about 10-4 ATS their last 14. But in the swamp, 5-1 ATS their last 6 at home, and 6-2 ATS their last 8 versus opponents in the Southeastern Conference. Now, look, LSU, they had their chances there and just couldn't matriculate enough offense. DJ Lagway really struggled, but where I think the rubber meets the road here is that Florida defense, quick on the outside. They got the corners. I think defensively they'll be able to scheme up enough to make things very tough on Arch Manning. Arch has not looked like what everybody thought he was going to. And I kind of said this, it's easy looking good against lower end teams at home. You put him on the road at Ohio State, you put him on the road at some place like Florida, you're really going to get a snapshot of what Arch Manning really is. Not saying he won't be good, but man, it's really hard to ask a kid making his first SEC road start to go into the swamp, even against a team like Florida that's a little bit down, and Billy Napier and company can't get it going. I'll just be interested. Like I said, I played Florida plus the 7.5. I put them in a 10-point teaser plus 17.5. Florida money line, if you're looking for it, maybe look to the first half. First half, they've been electric. 8 of the last 11 games, Florida has won the first half money line. That would put you up 9.6 units. Now, Texas, they're laying $2 even. They've hit that first half money line 11 of the last 14 games. The first quarter total under, which I think is very live here. Again, I think Arch slow start. I would expect Sarkisian to keep the ball on the ground. I'd actually expect Florida to keep the ball on the ground as well and lean on that defense. Your over-under total 7.5 for the first quarter. The game total under for Florida, they've hit that first quarter total under 10 of their last 12 games. If you've been following that, you're up 7.9 units, about a 58% return on your investment. The game total is 41.5. Texas, they went under the game total 10 of their last 15 games. That puts you up 5.6 units, about a 34% return on your investment. Florida, they've been right there with them on that game total under. 10 of the last 13 games have went under the total for the Gators. That would put you up 6.7 units, a 47% return on your investment. Again, 41.5, a very short total. There's a couple 42.5s out there. Everybody's on the over. Just kind of, to backtrack, remember that Ohio State game was the same way, where you just had a lot of overplay, but yet the under is what came in. Again, 2 really good defenses, 2 erratic quarterbacks, a interconference game. Florida has played an SEC game already this year. Texas has not, let alone Arch making his first start on the road. I think Florida plus 7.5 is the way to play here and maybe tease up that under. Same time frame. Vanderbilt, Alabama. Bama looking for revenge. Vanderbilt's not going to sneak up on the Tide here in Tuscaloosa. 5-1 ATS for the undefeated Commodores, who are ranked. They've went over the total 5 of their last 7 games, but against Bama, just 1-4 against the spread. Bama coming off that win against Georgia and that get right, 7-3 ATS their last 10 games, 12-5 straight up over their last 17. But again, they hold a 4-1 ATS advantage over the Commodores of Vanderbilt. Alabama 5-0 against the spread, their last 5 at home. Right now, Alabama's laying 10.5. 62% of bets and 64% of the handle is on Vanderbilt, compared to only 38% of bets and 36% of handle on Alabama. You're over under 55.5, and everybody is all over the over in this one. Again, 78% of tickets and 70% of the handle to the over. Remember, as you've probably heard me say in my previous videos, again, you have to create your own system and your own rules, but whether it's 10, 20, 30%, any of that percentage and under, whatever you deem is your system, you got to fire on something regardless. Again, it's much better to be on the book side than the public side. Doesn't mean you always have to bet every single game that way. But in these high profile games, these big games that are on your ABCs, your ESPN, your marquee games that get a lot of attention from the public, it's much better to be on the sportsbook side and the bookie side of this 100%. Vanderbilt's the trendy dog, right? With Dylan Maeva, Raeva there for Vanderbilt, the quarterback and the team getting a lot of love. I just look at it as I think this is way too trendy of a dog that has fleas. I would say if you can find a 10, 10 and a half, I'd still take it, but especially laying the 10, I would take Alabama. I just think they're a far superior team. Again, Vanderbilt was able to catch them sleeping last year and kind of a down spot for the Tide. That's not going to be the case. The Tide have heard it all week about this. Now, Vanderbilt, again, 9-4, their last 13 on the money line, puts you up 19.1 units, about an 18% return on your investment. For first quarter money line, Alabama, it's 240. It's high. You'd have to parlay it with something, but they've hit that 5 straight games at home. Minus $3 on the first half money line. Again, you'd have to find a parlay partner to dance with that. They've hit that 5 straight games at home. Vanderbilt, we talked about 10-4 ATS over their last 14. If you've been following that, you're up 5.6 units, about a 36% return on your investment. Again, Alabama, the side I like, 5-1 their last 6 games ATS at home. We talked about that earlier. From a unit perspective, that puts you up 3.9 units, about a 59% return on your investment. So if my leans would be Kentucky plus 21.5, Florida plus 7.5, I'm holding a ticket. Alabama minus 10, I'm holding a ticket. Let's get into the last game here of our SEC 4-pack for Saturday's games. We're going to go to College Station, Texas A&M, welcoming Mississippi State. Now, this line, again, it's always helpful to have multiple outlets to bet because this one's jumped around and it's different at a couple different books. But we're going to go FanDuel laying 14.5 for the undefeated Aggies. Mississippi State comes in 4-1, but 5-0 against the spread here for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. We'll see if those cowbells travel for them to College Station. 65% of tickets, 51% of the handle on Mississippi State, 35% of tickets, and 49% of the handle to the Aggies. Your over-under sets 55.5. 77% of tickets and 92% of the handles on the over. Again, everybody loves overs. 29% of tickets and only 12% of the handle going to Texas A&M in this one. A couple betting trends to help you out with your handicap. And again, breaktheboardsports.com. Click that like, hit subscribe. This is all about giving you information to help you become a better handicapper. If you have no interest and you want help, you can go to breaktheboardsports.com. Sign up for our picks, $1.37 a day across all sports. Mississippi State 5-0 ATS this year, but 6-0 ATS their last 6 overall. They're 8-4 against the spread the last 12 against Texas A&M. So while Texas A&M has had the edge winning these games against Mississippi State's been able to cover 66% of the time. Over their last 9 games, Texas A&M's getting wins, but they're not getting covers. 1-8 against the spread their last 9 games, despite 4-1 straight up their last 5. I don't have a play on this game. I think if you're looking for something, possibly teasing up the dog in this one, I just want to see how's Mississippi State going to react going to a place like College Station, one of the toughest places to play in the country. And I also think Texas A&M has showed themselves to be, if not the top, definitely in the top 3 in the SEC that can play with the LSUs, the Alabamas, and the Georgias. Mississippi State, again, Sharpen and company at quarterback. They're going to have to really travel well here to be able to hang in there with the Aggies. I could see this one getting out of control late. But again, if I'm going to play this game, it's going to be a teaser with Mississippi State. Again, click that like, hit subscribe. SEC breakdown. Check out our NFL teaser show. Comes out later today. Check out our Thursday night football show. Give us a like, hit subscribe. Again, Break the Board Sports, helping you become a better handicapper. God bless and happy handicapping.